Hello Internet, I'm from the Internet and my name's Mr. Matt. This week we're looking at Mario Kart Tour. My head is wobbling around, it's because it's been released for mobile devices, which require you to look down. So my neck's sore, so let's move it around a little bit. Roll the titles!
Mario Kart Tour was released on September 25th, 2019, and is released on iOS and Android. The game was developed by Nintendo and Bandai Namco together. And published by Nintendo themselves. Mario Kart Tour is a racing title, however you have no control over your acceleration or braking. It's all handled for you. What you have to do is move your finger left or right to end up controlling the steering. You can also tap to use your items. You can switch to another mode where you can end up tilting your phone left or right to end up steering, however, who actually ends up controlling it like that? Maniacs, I imagine. The game features an extensive roster of characters, karts, and little gliders that you can end up using within the races. Along with that, there's the usual weapons that have been staples within the Mario Kart series for ages, from the humble bomb-bomb, to the banana, the green shell, the red shell, and the potato. Each character also ends up having a unique super weapon that only they can end up using. These range from being completely effective to, well, just a bit rubbish really. There's the usual gubbins of having to level everything up. You end up having level ups for your karts, your racers, your gliders, yourself, your hopes, your dreams. Everything ends up having some form of level. You end up having several different engine classes, the 50cc, the 100cc and the 150cc. The 200cc is actually locked behind a monthly subscription service, which costs about $5. This is a little bit cheeky, but actually using the 200cc is actually a little bit of a pain. You actually find yourself overshooting corners, and sometimes overshooting on ramps, missing item boxes as a result. So ultimately, 200cc, whilst it will get you through faster, is actually a little bit pointless. The game also features an unhealthy obsession with tickets. You can end up getting tickets to end up progressing drivers, karts, and also to end up skipping ahead to getting more gifts.
There's no real progression that you eventually end up seeing. Everything gets reset after 2 weeks. You get to unlock some karts and go up a little tier system, that's nice. But beyond that, there's not really much there.
The only real progression that you end up seeing within the game is actually the tier system. These are little tournaments that end up happening on one particular cup over the course of a week. You end up competing against 19 other racers who have also set the score on there. It's an asynchronous multiplayer mode. However, this ultimately doesn't really have a lot of interest. You end up playing through it, but unless you're getting position 1, you're not getting a lot of the good stuff. You can end up getting some rubies, which are the premium currency in this. Don't end up paying for those.
The in-app purchases are overpriced. It's not great to see the online subscription for it being $5 a month, and also the packs that you end up seeing along the top are just too pricey. Impulse purchases aren't really something that you can end up seeing in this game long term.
Rubies end up being the main way to end up firing off the pipe, which, as Jim Sterling has already pointed out, is overtly sexual. New items are released every time the game refreshes after 2 weeks, which typically end up seeing new racers, new karts, new paragliders, along with new courses.
It's nice to see Nintendo supporting more mobile titles, however it's weird that they don't end up having a connection to their Nintendo online platform. If you remember Pokemon Rush, and if you also remember Mario Run, you're able to end up redeeming coins for certain little perks within those titles, but on Mario Kart Tour, nothing at all. It's strange that there's no connection between these two.
Along with this, there's also the little extra modes that end up appearing at the end of each tour. These range from being simple Goomba bashing, or a time trial where you have to end up racing around 2 laps as quickly as possible. There's also gliding challenges, along with a couple of unique ones which end up being character specific. You can also unlock emblems via in-game events. Typically these events are centered around specific objectives, such as hitting certain amounts of opponents with green shells, or doing certain objectives with a specific type of character, such as gaining a certain amount of points with a character with a hat.
No, I'm not doing that. No. What do you mean contractually obliged?
Step into the Grand Tour
Mario Kart GT!
Overall, I think it's a fun title. I just think that there needs to be a little bit more to it. Multiplayer is nice that you can end up playing online. It would have been excellent to end up seeing some local multiplayer. If you could end up connecting up with people who have also ended up downloading the app, being able to end up having a local race would have ended up really making it a little bit more fun. It's good, but it's flawed. It's not the most perfect racing game that you can end up finding on mobile, but it is a nice little time sink. That's your lot, have a fantastic day, and thank you so much for watching. Little bit of extra connectivity, and oh my god, Miko, no! No one wants to see your butt. Come on.